It's almost Sunday, so that means it's time to go racing again, and you're here with the Highline Podcast. I'm Jason Madison. He's William Blackwell. How's it going, man?
It's going good. We're going into the season a lot more farther. We're going into the last race of the West Coast Swing. And so far, Hendrick Motorsports has been very quick. And I expect the same exact thing to happen this weekend at Phoenix. But which driver will it be?
Professional tease, as they like to call that in the business. Let's remind everyone what we do around here. We will look back at that Pennzoil 400, where Alex Bowman was able to take the checkered flag, and then we'll preview, of course, the upcoming Ruoff Mortgage 500 down there at the Phoenix Raceway. We'll, of course, give you our picks for the NBC Sports Predictor app, and we'll talk about the Fox Bet Super 6 app. Let's let William go ahead and kick it off. Pennzoil 400 was your champion there by Alex Bowman. What were some of your takeaways there from the race on Sunday?
There were a lot of things, actually. It's like, I know going into the season, a lot of fans and a lot of NASCAR insiders expected the cars to be, I don't know, very forgiving when you make contact with another car. And Las Vegas, this past weekend, we saw a lot of wrecks. And when they wrecked, some of them drivers had pretty severe damage. Chase Briscoe early on, all he did was just barely tap the wall, and he broke a front rear axle and sent him to the garage. And it was not a great afternoon for him as he fell way down the line in the point standings. And later on in the evening, the biggest moment of the race, in my opinion, was when the caution came out for Eric Jones. And when he hit that wall, he hit it very hard, and it caused his right front tire to completely get stuck and not move at all, and no rotation going on at all. And he didn't really, like, he hit the wall hard, but in years past, a hit like that would have been forgiving. He would have drove away and maybe made it back to the pits, but Eric Jones did not. That caught my attention, and also how racing, like, things are on the restarts. In years past, it's always been exciting, but at Las Vegas, they were 3 wide, 2 wide for almost 10 to 15 laps, and that's when they all got sorted out. So this next gen car, in my opinion, is 3 for 3. We're seeing 3 great races so far, and I expect not much different at Phoenix.
No, the racing in this next-gen car has been absolutely outstanding. I wanted to talk about that here a little bit. I want to talk first about that Eric Jones thing. Unfortunate situation. We were in the middle of a good battle there, obviously, between Kyle Busch and Martin Truex Jr. Then the issues there happened to Eric Jones. Brutal for me. On my daily sports betting show, I gave out Eric Jones to finish ahead of Christopher Bell. That was happening up until that point. And then he also gave out Bubba Wallace to beat Daniel Hemrick, which Bubba Wallace was the only driver who almost clipped Eric Jones, but then instead was able to just slide by him, but then he hit the inside wall. So within one, just slip up there by Jones costed me 2 bets. So brutal for me.
I know I'm going to catch a lot of heat, I guess you can say, for this. I'm about to state here, but that Bubba Wallace incident Sunday when he barely hit Eric Jones and went into the tire barrier, that was so uncalled for. It is not a driver's error. It's a spotter's error, because that wreck has been going on for almost, 15 seconds, and he just clips Eric Jones. It did not make much sense at all. And NASCAR waited that long to throw the caution, but also his spotter wasn't very paying much attention at all. So those are 2 big red flags.
Yeah, I've seen NASCAR catch a little bit of a flack there for that Eric Jones incident, waiting a little bit too long there. But they're trying to see if these cars will not get stuck on the track, if they can just keep them from popping the tires and obviously then getting stuck. So I get what they were doing there, but not when he was sliding through the grass right there near the track. You got to throw the caution.
Yeah, safety is the number 1 priority in any sport you're in. And Eric Jones was in a bad wreck, I guess you can say, and he needed attention right away. And there was no need to wait that long, because that put drivers in danger, and they got to do something moving forward. And I don't know how many viewers out there watched the truck race on Friday night at Las Vegas, but the same exact thing happened on the final lap, and they did not see it at all and just let them race to the line, which was very, very unexcusable and should never happen again. Yeah. And the driver, for crying out loud, he dislocated his shoulder, Spencer Boyd, and a lot of bad things have gone on this past week in the NASCAR officiating crew.
Yeah, no, definitely so. One of the other things I want to talk about, though, from that Pennzoil 400 was the 2-tire strategy. You saw that really throughout the race, and it was not working at all. You saw issues there with McDowell. You saw the issue there with Keselowski. But then obviously at the end, the two-tire strategy worked. I think it only worked at the end because they were only, doing the overtime, which is only a couple laps. If that would have been, part of the normal race, I think that two-tire strategy would have gone ahead and bit those Hendrick boys in the butt. But, kudos to them. They made that strategy call. I thought it was a great call. I mean, there's only a couple laps there, obviously, in an overtime race. So, yeah, fantastic work by them. Hendrick was good all day long, as you mentioned. Their 4 cars finished 1st, 2nd, 5th, and 9th. Just absolutely outstanding. You weren't here on the last podcast, unfortunately. We dearly missed you, by the way, William. I threw out a stat, though, that there had been one driver after 2 races that had finished both of them in the top 10. That driver did it again. Do you know who has finished now all 3 races in the top 10?
My man, the driver of the number 10 car, Eric Almirola. He's going on his farewell journey into retirement, and so far things are looking great for him.
He's looking really, really good for him. Just outstanding right there. I may have to get in a real sports bet with him some kind of way this week and maybe sprinkle a little something. But no, he's off to a fantastic start.
Phoenix is one of his best tracks, so why not?
Yeah. You mentioned earlier, you were talking about how we've had 3 races and 3 really or 3 races and 3 really good races, obviously, with this next gen car. I wanted to touch on that. Just it's been absolutely fantastic. I mean, look at that duel late in that race there between Busch and Truex. You had guys battling lap traffic, and they were still able to make passes. Guys doing the crossover moves, side by side drafting, just fantastic. And you're seeing that if you have a good car, you can actually chase down a leader. You get all these races, you'll get parts where it gets stretched out and the leader can get away from them, so to speak. But if you have a good car in this next gen car, you can absolutely make a move and make passes. Yeah, you're right. I mean, another race, fantastic driving. The fans have to be pleased. The passing is just extraordinary. So love to see that right there. What I didn't love to see, though, is Kyle Busch. Everybody knows I dislike Kyle Busch. He wants to complain after the race about Alex Bowman backing into another win. He wants to, at the end of stage 1, get on your boy's bumper, Chase Briscoe, just because he takes away his line. Like, he does so much stuff that's just like inexcusable, or it's like crybaby stuff. I absolutely hate him. He's so damn talented. He overcame so many issues on Sunday to be right there at the end, and then he does things where it's like, oh, Alex Bowman backs into another win. Like, just come on, man. Like, you haven't ever had a caution go your way late in a race and do it, or you haven't had to overcome adversity. Every driver has to overcome adversity. Look at Alex Bowman. He had a good car all day. He was up there. It's not like he just came out of nowhere. Obviously, the caution with Eric Jones put him in that position, and then they used that tire strategy. I don't know. I'm just so damn sick and tired of Kyle Busch. It's just tired of him. And then did you see the interview with, what was it? One of the reporters where he was like, great day today, overcoming having to be in your backup car, and he was like, oh, everything's made from Walmart. Basically just saying how everybody buys the parts the same. That's what NASCAR wanted. Cheaper parts, cheaper equipment, and then also the parity and the competitiveness. And then he wants to make that comment. I hate that guy. Hate him.
What
He's so
damn
talented.
He's so hypocritical.
Yeah,
like, he does the same exact stuff. Like Chase Briscoe. At the end of stage 1, he would have totally done the same exact thing if he was in Briscoe's position, to where he was struggling to get a runoff. So he took his lane and blocked him, and prevented that from happening. And so hypocritical. And
it really is.
I think he's feeling it right now, because remember, at the end of the year, he's losing Mars Candy, which is M&M, Skittles, and Snickers, I think, who sponsors him too, and Double Mint. So he's going to need a lot of sponsorship. So he's feeling the wrath right now, because his seat might be a little warm than it would be in the years past. Which leads me to possibly him starting a Cup team. We've seen Cup teams start up here in these last handful of years, 2311 Racing, Trackhouse, but that's for a whole nother episode. But for right now, Kyle Busch is starting to feel the heat under his seat, and he's getting aggressive, and he's also doing some pretty dumb and ignorant things. And one last thing before we go, we're talking about Phoenix. These last handful of weeks in Auto Club and Daytona, the biggest issue was when the car spun out, they're on their rims and they're having to wait for a tow truck. This past weekend, we did not see that at all, which is a very big success from NASCAR, because they worked really hard throughout the week to get that to happen, and it's worked out for them really well.
Well, I think the teams are making a lot of adjustments. You hear on these team communication radios where, like, don't pop it, just hold it. Like, they're like, hey, this thing could pop, and all of a sudden you're going to be stuck on the track. So I think the teams are also adjusting in their own right of maybe how handling it as it's, already, spun out, as they've already spun, It's good
Yeah.
stuff, though. It's been fantastic. I love these 3 races so far this season. They've been really good, and love to see it. I mean, Ross Chastain, God, I was gutted for him. Just a great, fantastic day. I mean, guys, the competitiveness in this next gen car is incredible. Yeah, Ross Chastain, great to see. It's just another driver that proves if you have a good car, you can get right up there with Hendrick. You can get right up there with Penske and Joe Gibbs and compete. And Chastain was doing that all day long. Fantastic, day for him, so to speak. So, yeah, good stuff. Anything else you want to say about Pennzoil down there in Vegas?
I think we knocked all points down. Like we broke down who won the race. We broke down how petty and ignorant Kyle Busch really is. And yeah,
I thought you would have been
we
fired
covered it
up
all.
about that because it was your boy's bumper he was on at the. I thought you would have been like, I want to start off with Kyle Busch hitting my guy.
It was a rough one, but they'll fight to live another day,
That's right.
or live to fight another day. Oh my gosh, I'm getting my words tangled up. But yeah,
All right, well, let's jump
I'm
over
ready
to
to talk
Phoenix now. Well, they'll be at that Phoenix Raceway 1 mile track after Ruoff Mortgage 500. Phoenix is one of those short, flat tracks. I always like to give you guys a comparable. Just like last season we talked about Phoenix, Richmond is the best comparable, I think, for Phoenix. So go ahead and look up any driver stats if you want to look at Richmond when you're doing your handicapping here for this one. Martin Truex Jr. won in March. Kyle Larson, obviously, we all remember, obviously won in November, obviously. Question for you, and then you can answer this and you can kind of take it wherever you want. Knowing that this is the championship race, knowing that Bowman and Larson are obviously locked into the playoffs, I'm leaving Cindric out of this because I don't think he's a real title contender. Do Bowman and Larson take this as a test weekend for the last race of the season? Mainly Larson. I think Bowman has a case to be made, but definitely Larson.
all right, here I'm about to make 2 points. Out of Bowman and Cindric, I think Cindric will have a better chance of winning the championship. I want to see all the heat in the comment section because I'm looking forward to it. But I think Cindric could be – he is someone to keep an eye on because some of the tracks in the playoffs work out really well for Cindric, so I would not count him out at all. But going in this weekend for them 3 drivers that have won a race so far this year, and I just think they're going to come up here and try many different things out. So don't be surprised if they totally miss the setup this weekend. They're trying out new stuff and just trying to go – for the championship at the end of the year at this track, and they want to have the number 1 setup because remember, practice sessions are very short this year, and they do not have much time to practice at all. So they got to get the most out of this Sunday's race at Phoenix. It's going to be a long 3-hour test session, if you will.
I don't think they'll jeopardize their chance to take the checkered flag, but I could see some part during stage 1 or stage 2 they test some things out. But I think then they'll be like, okay, let's go ahead and win this race, boys. But yeah, at some point, maybe they do make some modifications to the car, air tire pressure, what have you. And then, they want to see how it goes. So yeah, I agree with you right there. What else are some of the sort of things you're looking for? We always know what happens out here at Phoenix. Like I said, Truex is always really good out here. Logano's good out here. Larson's, hell, he's good on any track. I'll take him anywhere. But what else you got here before we give the people our picks for the NBC Sports Predictor at?
One thing that to keep an eye on here, but these last 2 weeks, to be exact, in Auto Club in Vegas, we have seen a lot of spin outs and qualifying and practice sessions, and they somehow managed not to hit the wall. But here at Phoenix, it is very tight and complicated, and if you spin out, you're hitting that wall, and more than likely, you're going to end your day. So I think there's going to be a lot of cautions here, and we're going to see a lot of cars knocked out this race.
Well, speaking of a lot of cautions, I can't remember which guy sent the tweet out, but they've already had was it that guy Jeff? I think it was Jeff. Now I'm going to want to pull this up. But anyways, NASCAR's had almost like the most cautions to start a season since some of side season, which I think, let me actually look. And it's because of that spin out thing that you're talking about, right? These cars are harder to handle. They are spinning out, and subsequently we're bringing out more cautions. Here it is right here. So with 12 caution flag and Sunday's Pennzoil 400, the NASCAR Cup Series has seen 31 cautions through the first 3 races. That's tied for the most through the first 3 races of a season at the NASCAR's top level. So, hey, these cars are tough to drive, and these guys obviously 3 races in don't have a full grasp on how to do it yet.
That means they're averaging almost 10.3 a race. That is crazy. And one thing, I don't know why I did not hit it about Las Vegas, but I really like how NASCAR didn't really give them all the tires that they usually get in the past because that made things more scarce down the pit road for tires. Some teams are running out, and they had to gamble and take 2 tires. That's why Alex Bowman and Kyle Larson were up front. They're out of tires, and they just took 2 old scuff ones and put it on, and track position was key.
Oh yeah.
And yes, that's what I like, and I think this weekend they're going to do the same thing, not supply them with much tires at all. They has been in the past, but it's going to be very interesting. Track position is very key here at Phoenix because it could be hard to pass.
Very much so. All right. Well, should we go to the NBC Sports Predictor app?
Let's get it.
All right, let's go ahead and do it. So over on the NBC Sports Predictor app, you can win $10,000 if you correctly give them the best driver to finish in the 3 stages and then give them a top 3 as well. All season long, I'm giving away $25 to the winner of the Winning Bets League. If you need that league information, go ahead and grab in this video description. But it's pretty simple. Join the league, have the most points at the end of Sunday's race, and win $25 from me. That simple. Who won last week? Let's take a look. It looks like it was same winner as last week. I'm finna get it 22. Same winner as last week. 45 points. He got 2 of the 3 right stages. And Larson in second place. Is there something funny with his name that I'm not picking up on? That I said it fast? You looked down.
No,
I thought you were laughing.
No.
I stumbled through his name.
I need to get my season turned around here at Phoenix. Last week was a struggle. The week before at Auto Club, he was working out. But, man, I need to make up some points this week. I got to. I'm so far behind. I think it's like 50. So we got to get the ball rolling here.
Well, do what this guy's done. He's taking all my money. And let's have this guy stop taking my money, and you take my money. Join that Winning Bets League. We all start with 0 points each and every Sunday. Good luck to everybody. All right, now let's go ahead and give the people our picks. As I said again, pick the driver to finish best amongst the stage. Let's let William kick it off first. Oh, and by the way, congratulations. Obviously, I'm finna get it. I talked to him on Twitter. I already gave him his money, but I didn't say it here on the show. So congratulations, my man. Keep it going. Love to see the wins come in. All right, who's going to finish best in stage 1, William? You've got Byron, Chastain, Harvick, and Wallace.
All right, I narrowed it down to 2 drivers. Kevin Harvick has been really good in the past at Phoenix. I remember the days when they came to Phoenix, they weren't just wondering if Harvick was going to win because he obviously was. They were just wondering how bad he's going to dominate, how many laps he's going to lead, how many stages he's going to win. But these last handful of years, he has fell off pace at Phoenix. And for the first round, I'm going to pick the driver that I share a name with, William Byron. I think he's having a phenomenal year, but the finishing results do not show. Auto Club had the fastest car in town, and in Vegas, he was very quick there. And I think he's going to be the driver to pick here in stage number 1.
I almost had it between 3 drivers. I don't know if Chastain could maybe carry it over from week to week, so I ultimately had it between the 2 drivers that you did. I went Kevin Harvick. I went out on a little bit of a limb here. The things that I did like last year in stage 1 in those 2 races, he started 18th. At the end of stage 1, he finished 7th. At the end of he started 9th, and at the end of stage 1, he finished in 2nd place. So I like what he's able to do in stage 1. He may fall off at the end of the race, exactly like you said, but at least in the 2 races last season, stage 1, he was competitive and he was in the top 10 in that stage. I like that. In the last 2 weeks, obviously removing Daytona, which is a little bit different of an animal, he's finished 7th and 12th, so he's not driving terrible. He's not driving his most dominant like he was 2 seasons ago, but he's not doing all that bad. As always with stage 1, monitor the starting grid, right? If Byron all of a sudden goes to the back due to unapproved adjustments or whatever have you issue, I don't believe you're probably going to take William Byron. So make sure you're following both of us on Twitter. I think on this one, the starting grid does matter, at least for stage 1. But, so just make sure you're following us on Twitter. All right, for stage 2, we've got to go ahead and pick between Blaney, Kyle Busch, Elliott, and Logano. Definitely not picking Kyle Busch. I'm going to go ahead and pick Joey Logano. Look, guys, he's best at Phoenix. He's best at Richmond. He's best at the intermediate 1-mile tracks of drivers in this group. That's best at Phoenix, best at Richmond, best at the 1-mile tracks. Go with Joey Logano, folks. What about for you?
I'm agreeing with you 100%. Joey Logano, a couple of weeks ago on February 6th, they raced at the LA Coliseum, a very short track. Phoenix is also a short track, but it's at least a mile long. But Logano was quick at that race, so it makes me think that they're quick on the short tracks, and they're going to be pretty quick here. Do they get the win? Time will tell, but he's a safe bet here for stage number 2.
Yeah, I agree. Good pick right there. All right, what about for stage 3, where you got to pick between Bowman, Cindric, Larson, and Truex?
All right, here. It's a really tough round right here. I really like all of these drivers. Bring it down to Truex and Larson.
Yep.
I like Truex, but you got to go for points. I'm going for points right here. I've got to be smart on who I pick, and I think Kyle Larson is the man. And he's going to be up front contending for the win when it's all said and done.
I'm with you. Had it between Truex and Larson, and when in doubt, go with Larson. I don't want to regurgitate the same information that we talked about, this season or already last season tons of times. Everybody knows why I'm picking Larson head-to-head against Truex, or obviously he's against 4 guys, but I had to narrow it down between Larson and Truex. Yeah, I'm going Kyle Larson. No-brainer right there. All right, give him a top 3 so these people can win $10,000, William.
All right, finishing third this Sunday will be the 22 car of Joey Logano. I expect him to be very quick, and he will come home P3. P2 will be the 5 car of Kyle Larson. I know I picked him in stage number 3, but that's not for the win. That's for all the drivers he's going up against. But he's finishing second. And then winning Sunday's race will be the 24 car of William Byron. He's had it rough these last handful of weeks, but he's had very quick and fast cars, thanks to Rudy Fugle, his crew chief. And I think this week they finally get over the hump and get the victory lane.
All right, so another strong week there by the Hendrick team for you. I'm going to go ahead and every week I wear a different shirt. This week I'm wearing the guy who's taking the checkered flag, Joey Logano. He is just really goddamn good at this track. Really good. You've mentioned how good it's the short tracks in general. So I'm on Joey Logano to take home that checkered flag. Right behind him will be Kyle Larson, and right behind him will be Martin Truex Jr. He won this race in March. He was second in November. Vegas and Richmond both are ranked in his top 10 in terms of tracks that he's strongest at. Richmond is actually his first track. Actually, I meant Phoenix and Richmond, obviously not Vegas and Richmond. Phoenix and Richmond. Richmond is number 1. I think it's a pretty good comp to Phoenix. And also, he's got the 6th best average finish, 6th best driver rating since 2019. 6 of those races, 3 of them are in the top 5. Yeah, he's going to be there in the end, folks. Hopefully, he'll be there in 3rd place.
All right, this just for the fun of it. All right, who would you consider as your dark horse for this Sunday?
Dark horse? God, I really like Kyle Busch. I hate to pick him. He's just so damn good. But I don't want to pick Kyle Busch because I hate him. You could go a little off the beaten path there. Should I take Eric Almirola? He's going to be a top 10. That seems to be a thing with him. I don't want to do that. Yeah. Kevin Harvick doesn't have it. I don't think Kevin Harvick and Stewart-Haas Racing has really done it. You could look at possibly if I'm going Team Penske, I'm definitely going Logano. No doubt. Definitely going Logano.
About RCR. RCR has been pretty quick here in the past. I think they last won here in 2017 with Ryan Newman, but Tyler Reddick might be a force to reckon with late Sunday afternoon.
I'd love to see Trackhouse Racing. I love what they're doing so far. Suarez, got caught up obviously in a wreck on Sunday. It wasn't his fault. We obviously know what Chastain was able to do on Sunday. I love Trackhouse. Not saying they're a dark horse, but man, I love what they're doing. So you would take which one of those boys, Reddick or Dillon? Or are you just saying one of the two?
I think they're both pretty equal when it comes to racing at Phoenix. There'll be sometimes Reddick will finish higher than Dillon, but I think Dillon always when Kyle Busch got petty after Sunday's race and said Bowman backs into wins, which is sort of true, but not really. But the driver that actually backs into wins is Austin Dillon, and that could be one driver that comes out of nowhere and steals the wins late Sunday afternoon.
Well, and he's good at Richmond too. And again, at least from my perspective, this is a pretty comparable track between Phoenix and Richmond. So he backs into wins. Like Kyle Busch backs into wins. That guy was driving up. What the hell? He won stage 1. He was up there all day. Don't give me that he backed into that win stuff. Okay, a caution came out. That's racing. That happens. A caution's never benefited Kyle Busch. Hate him. As you said, he's a hypocrite, double standard guy. All right, let's go ahead and turn our attention now to the Fox Bet Super 6 app where you can win $10,000. We're going to go ahead and actually hold off on giving you guys our answers for this here on this weekly video. It just doesn't make any sense, right? We're both sitting there watching stage 1 and stage 2. We're both changing our answers, and we're both tweeting our new modified answers every Sunday. So we're just going to hold off. Make sure you follow the Highline podcast. We'll make sure we'll obviously put that Twitter information here and there. We'll put William's Twitter information always. And, of course, you guys always have mine as well. So it just doesn't make sense to go ahead and give you those answers. So much changes. We're watching the race. I know I didn't tweet this past Sunday. I had a birthday party I actually forgot about for my son. So I actually missed a good chunk of stage 2. That's why I didn't tweet out my modified answers. But nothing's going on this Sunday. I'll be watching the race, and I'll be tweeting my answers, and so will William. So just make sure you're following us on Twitter so you can get our picks for the Fox Bet Super 6 app.
And a quick reminder that the game does not just end at the end of stage 2. It's on a time set. So it might end because the race starts at 3:30 Sunday. It might end at 5 o'clock. So you got to be aware of the times because it's not going to end at the end of stage 2. It's going to end at a certain time. So you got to keep a close eye on that and pay attention to the running order and what's going on with the race.
Right, and if you're wondering when we would possibly tweet our answers, we would tweet them at the end of stage 1 because you have between that time and when the green flag drops when stage 2 starts. So it is a tight window, but there is plenty enough time to get on Twitter and give us a follow and follow our pick. So it'll come out. You just look for us on Twitter, folks. We'll hook you up with the right answers to the best of our abilities. I mean, anything can obviously happen. This stuff's tough to predict. All right, cool. So it's Phoenix this weekend. Preview of the championship race. Look forward to it. It should be good. I look forward. I mean, it's just the racing's been so damn good. I look forward to it. I'm already ready to look forward to it. The passing has just been absolutely incredible. The crossovers are setting people up. Love it. Already looking forward to it. All right, folks, go ahead and get that Eric Almirola top 10 bet in. Lock it in. See if he can go for 4 in a row. All right, William, we look forward to seeing you back here. Next week's a big week for you. They'll be down there at your home track, Atlanta Motor Speedway. I know you're looking forward to that, seeing how the racing will be different. There, obviously, they've repaved and remodified that whole track. We'll talk about that all next week here on the Highline Podcast, but go enjoy this weekend's race at the Phoenix Raceway, and we'll see you guys back here next week. That was a lot of fun. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and good luck with your picks. If interested in placing real sports bets, then check out my latest daily free sports betting video in the bottom right corner. Otherwise, I'll see you on the next contest.